What's up, y'all? I wanted to talk about the defense. This year I feel like we got a great defense, and with the people we picked up in the draft, I feel like we really elevated this year, and also with uh, us getting Emmanuel Forbes and Quan Martin, I feel like those guys have really made our defense elite. They've we last year we like they said, Ron Rivera said, we lacked on turnovers, and by us getting him, those two, I think we're really going to get those turnovers this season. And I feel like out of all people that's going to start this season between those two, I feel like it's going to be Emmanuel Forbes, and that's just because they stress so much on making turnovers this season that I have no doubt that they're going to make him the starter because they want it, and he can give you turnovers. And the fact that their draft, the first person they wanted was him, so it makes it very important that they keep him on the field. And also he's shown himself, he's shown that he can do great things that he did in college in the NFL, and he's shown it in the OTAs and minicamp. So he's been doing a great job. He's been getting picks, and that's what they want to see. And it's all gonna come down to what happens in training camp. But right now, it seems like Emmanuel Forbes is gonna be starting, and Quan Martin, he can be safety or he can be slot cornerback. And that's what it seems like they have him right now as slot and safety. But besides that, I can see, I've seen that they had Kendall Fuller and Benjamin St. Juste on the outside, and I think right now they feel comfortable with them two still being on the outside, because Benjamin St. Juste did a good job last season on the outside, but that was before he got injured. But I think he was on a great season. I think he could have, if he was able to still play, I think he would have had 2 interceptions that season, and that's decent. That's not bad, but that's something to look at. And I think just because of his seniority and him being there, I think they're going to allow him to still be in that position as the outside. And I think Fuller, we already know Fuller is good. He's going to be on his side, and I believe that Emmanuel Forbes is going to play the slot, and from time to time they're going to have Quan Martin plug in anywhere from the slot or from the safety positions. And I think that's a good look. You know what I'm saying? He, just think about what Quan can do. Quan can force fumbles and he can make interceptions. And Emmanuel Forbes, he's a ball hawk. You know what I'm saying? Even Martin Mayhew said that. He came out and said it, and he said that's the reason they wanted to get him. And it's just, and then who else even spoke out about it? And I say it all the time, but Jahan Dotson, he spoke about it. And it's not too many times that you have a wide receiver on the same team speaking out about the defense. You know what I'm saying? Or just somebody that played them very well. So that's another thing that's giving him credit. And I think everyone's able to see it in practice that Emmanuel Forbes is who he say he is. So those two are going to be a great asset to have on the team, and I think we're really going to go up on turnovers this year, and I feel like we're going to be in the top 10 on turnovers this season just because of them two alone. And also we got Cameron Curl, and he's a beast, and we got Derek Forrest, and he had 4 interceptions last season, and I'm sure, and that was mostly, and some of his picks and fumble recoveries came from Benjamin St. Juste being on the outside. So, and they got chemistry, so they work together, and they, outside of football, they actually go to each other's weddings, and they actually know each other, they hang out. So that's even more of chemistry that you need on the defense. So I think they're doing a good job on that end. And, the D-line is about to be a beast this year because, we got Chase Young back. And Chase Young, he said it's night and day from last season. So he's feeling much better. It's just hopefully he doesn't injure himself in training camp. And, that's really one thing I be thinking about. Like, training camp can really, get you injured, and preseason, because just people are so rough. And then, just it's football. You know what I'm saying? So it's bound to happen. Somebody's bound to get injured. Hopefully not. But, that's the sport that you play. It's a rough sport. And, even though, it's not huge injuries, most people injure themselves on each and every play. You know what I'm saying? Especially running backs. But to go back into the defense, we got Montez Sweat. You got Jonathan Allen. Deron Payne, who just, got a beautiful deal last season because he had, I believe it was 11.5 sacks. And, like I said before, if Chase Young is able to do anything above 11.5 this season, or just be above any of the inside defensive lineman sacks, he's good. He's going to get that contract, and we're going to end up keeping him. And that goes for Montez Sweat as well, And, even our middle linebackers, Jamin Davis is who he's coming back from surgery. And, with that being said, I feel like Khalid Hudson might get some more playing time, and I keep saying that, and they've been saying that he's been doing great in practice. So we might be seeing him go off this season and, really get to introduce himself to the team because, he hasn't had that many snaps. And, I think his breakout game last season was the Cowboys game, the last game we had against the Cowboys. And, he did his thing. He had 7 tackles, and that was a great showcase, and they really liked that. So I feel like he's gonna have a breakout season. And then we also got Cody Barton, and Cody Barton is a beast. You know what I'm saying? He was a beast in the draft when he came out, and he did his thing in the combine. So comparing Cole Holcomb and him back then, I would have went with Cody Barton, but now I still will go with Cody Barton. Cody Barton has been doing a good job, and last season he was really able to, get that starting role, and that was mostly because Bobby Wagner wasn't there, and and he didn't have to play behind any other linebackers, so he was able to start that season, and look what he did. He had 136 tackles and 2 interceptions, so I think he did a great job, and I believe he was a Mike linebacker when he was there. So this season, I'm sure he got the opportunity from the Commanders, and they seen something in him. And as just to think about Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio being former linebackers, I'm sure they seen that he can do the job. You know what I'm saying? Because just think about it, like those two were linebackers, so I'm sure they can see that, and they both have been to the Pro Bowl, you know what I'm saying? So they have great talent, that they could see talent at the same time. So they made a great choice, and I'm sure they did. And Cody Barton has been saying that he was using flashcards in the beginning of the season when he first got there. I think it was back in March, but now he said he doesn't even use the flashcards, and it's June, you know what I'm saying? So like, just imagine that. And that means he's working, and he's progressing, and what I'm saying, he's starting to really learn it. And sometimes we think that learning something on paper can really help us, but sometimes just being out there physically and just interacting with it can help you even more. So I think that's really what's going to really help him even more, and that's probably why he stopped using the flashcards, because he's starting to realize, what, if I'm just out here and I'm playing through it and I'm learning it by hand, you know what I'm saying, that's even better for me. So Cody Barton is really a great pick, honestly. I didn't understand why we picked him in the beginning, but once you break down what he's been through, and him coming out the draft and being a nice, I would call him a top pick, you know what I'm saying, and he went in the 3rd round by the Seahawks. But and especially the fact that just think about the Seahawks linebackers, and The Seahawks have been making great picks back in the day, and I'm sure they're still making picks now. But I'm just thinking, like, they made great picks at linebacker, so I'm sure they picked a great linebacker. And you know, they run a defense where they use 4 linebackers at a time. So I'm sure they want great quality linebackers, and you know that's what we got now. So we seen that, you know, he proved himself to where he could be a Mike linebacker for us, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And you know, everybody's going to do great this season. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope that we continue to move up. You know, and it's the same defense from last year, but you know, we've been using this defense for a while now, and we've still been top. And I think this is going to take us to the top. You know, I think we're going to be the top just because of the two weapons we got, you know, in the draft. And then on top of that, we got Chase Young back. So I feel like we're going to be unstoppable this season.